Well, good morning. First brew for the day. Didn't sleep too bad in the little stretcher tent, quite happy with it. Although I've got to say there was a lot of brumbies around last night. I could hear them galloping and snorting and neighing and all sorts of stuff. Didn't last too long, so it wasn't too bad. But there was a possum in that tree. Couldn't have been any closer. Should have opened up the zip and let him in. He was pretty noisy, or she. But goodness me, other than that, it wasn't too bad. It was warm, it was comfy. So the tent survived, or I survived the tent, which is good. It's a good little tent. Glad I bought it. I'll use it often. Anyway, I'll see what the day's got in store and talk to you later. You never know what you're going to get with a drop toilet, but that was definitely one of the better ones. Okay, there's a guy over here. He's the same little wallaby that was here yesterday. Cute little face. Obviously not too shy. He's letting me get close enough. Hello, little guy. It's the only one I've seen though. Haven't seen too many around. In the whole trip up, actually, I saw maybe one cross the road. But yeah, he's a friendly little fella. Girl, I think. Female. Off you go, buddy. Seems to have the place to itself, just like me. Lots of green around, but not many other colours other than the brown of the trees and the occasional Scotch thistle growing wild out in the Australian bush where it definitely doesn't belong. Oh, that tea I made this morning is still hot, or still reasonably warm. It's a great cup, double wall insulated, lasts hours. Anyway, today's lunch. Probably a simple affair. I think I'll drag out just some noodles. I've got a packet of noodles. I've got an egg. I've got some little bags of mix I make up. Have all sorts of stuff in them, like dried onion, dried mushroom, dried seaweed. I'll chuck a bit of chili in and a little bit of spice. Then it's just really a boil up in the billy job, using whatever's in the packet of noodles. But I usually get all the other stuff going first. So I'll get that fire on. So that's going. Yep. And it's just, I make these up at home, so they're just an amount that suits one packet of noodles. It's all kinds of different stuff, pretty much. Asian-y flavour, if you like. I will chuck some chili in there out of my spices container. Get it out. Tetris box. Wind's probably playing havoc, and I don't have a remote mic yet. It's one of the things I've got to get. But anyway, bit of chili. Let that simmer up. And then I'll get the noodles in there, and when that's cooked, I'll chuck in my egg, and that'll be pretty much lunch for today. Very simple, very easy. Lid. Nice little titanium pot I got, AliExpress. I don't think it was cheap. It was probably about 40 bucks originally. But it's good. It's compact. My kettle fits in it, and it's all lightweight stuff. So if I'm ever to go backpacking or anything, which I do sometimes, I've got a nice light pot. Although I probably wouldn't take it's too big, but I do have a little bit of titanium stuff. Anyway, let's hook on with dinner. Vegetable mix. Forgot the vegetable mix. I'll drop that in. It does come with some spice mix. Tend not to use a lot of it. It's not because it's too spicy, but probably because it's too salty. So I put a bit in just to give it a bit of extra flavour, but I don't use it all. It's just way too salty for my liking. Anyway, stir that up. That won't take long. And I'll get the noodles in. So this box is my general food kit. Keeps all my dried and canned food. Oh, some fresh, banana. But it's mostly canned stuff. There's some packet stuff. Various things, depending on what I feel like on the day. Snacks as well, nuts. I do keep my little jar of oils in here, because if they leak out of the jar that they're in little jars. So this big jar keeps them from spilling and leaking if that was likely to happen, but that's bubbling away nicely. So just turn it down to a light simmer. Crack up the noodles. Not exciting feeling, I know, but lunch, that's how I do it. Simple. So I'll just get that underneath there. Submerge it all down, let it soak up, give that a couple of minutes to cook that noodle down to a nice soft consistency. And then I'll drop in an egg. I might even drop in a little bit of chili oil. Chili oil. And look, why not? Let's be adventurous. Even a little bit of sesame oil. Bit of sesame oil as well. Love the flavour of sesame. It just, I don't know, never gets old. Beautiful stuff, love it. Alright, let that go for a bit. Stir it through. All those flavours mixed up. You might think noodles is boring, but I can tell you, when you're whacking all this stuff, it makes such a lovely meal, and it's easy. You can have it in one pot, eat it out of the same one pot. It really doesn't make a lot of mess, so there's not much cleaning up. So it's a great meal. I like this brand too. I don't know what it is about this brand, but they just seem to make Shin Ramyun. I don't know. I buy them at the supermarket. They're pretty readily available, but they are a good brand. I think they've got a premium brand too, which has some extra stuff in it, but I can't tell the difference. Anyway, these are fine. So I'll just let that simmer up a little bit, and then I'll get that egg in there, and it'll be done. It's just all about simple. My wraps for my quesadillas tonight. And I'll show you that when we're doing it. They're simple food too. Again, another one-pan meal. Love the one pan. You'll get to know that about me. One pan is king. An easy clean up. So minimise water usage, minimise wastage of paper towel or whatever. and other resources. Just keep it as simple as possible. I don't know if you can hear that breeze, but that's blowing that flame around a little bit. Not super much, not a super amount, but it's still bubbling away. So these are really good for wind resistance because it glows so red underneath. I don't know if I can show you that. That's not quite right down as low as it'll go, but it's still got a lot of glow to it. And just makes that bubble along nicely without getting too hot and not being, ultra affected by the wind. Let's have a taste. Yeah, I'm almost done. Time to crack that egg in, I reckon. Just drop it in. Nothing fancy. Give it a bit of a loose whip around in there. Mix it up just a little bit. I don't do it as you please, but I like to get the egg in there floating around, not just a egg white mess. Let that go for another minute or two. That'll be done. I did change the gas bottle over on this. These gas bottles, these Coleman gas bottles, they make this thing burn so hot. I don't know what it is. It must have more pressure, or maybe the propane mix being pretty much 100% propane, I think just makes it burn so much hotter. So you can turn it right down and not use so much fuel either. So it's a good option. But you do need this adapter. There's a little adapter on there. It goes from this bottle to those other gas can fittings. I think they're called EN27 or something like that. It's just a standard hiker's little canisters. But anyway, that's done, I reckon. Look at that. Yep, that's lunch. All right, bon appetit. Something's been splashing around in the water here, and I don't know what it is. Not sure if it's a platypus, or a frog, or even a fish. But I'm determined to find out what it is. Stay tuned. Found the culprit. Well, got to be excited after seeing that fish, and the sun's out. And you know what happens when the sun comes out? It's about that time. Oh, and that tastes good. Alrighty, well, tonight's dinner is going to be the quesadilla. I pretty much used up the leftovers from last night. That was the capsicum, the onion and the olives from that chicken cacciatore last night. I've added a bit of chopped tomato. I'm going to add a bit of corn. I've got a bit of caramelized onion spread just to give it a bit of a sweet flavour. And I've got some cheese. And of course on top of that, there'll be the spices. You can't do it without spices. Trust me, you've got to have spices. Well, I do. Anyway, I've used the last of the olive oil that was in with the olives. Just add a little bit more to fry up the chicken first because I've got to get that cooked. So I'll do that now and I'll get that cracking. Away we go. Ooh, that's nice. So I want to give this a good stir up with the spice, which is in this. This is just a bit of Moroccan spice, nothing super special. I do have a bit of paprika, which I'm going to put onto the quesadilla. Now, the biggest problem I have is that, oops, looking at that now. See how hot that is already? That's stinking hot already. So I've got to put the quesadilla or the wrap in the pan, but it won't fit, it's too big. So I'm going to do a quarter one as opposed to a half one. You'll see what I mean in a minute. That way I can just fit it in the pan. In the meantime, a bit of the old Moroccan spice, some of the smoked paprika, I'll give that a bit of a stir up. Hope there's enough chicken. Plenty of other stuff, so I'm sure there will be. Give it a bit more gas, get it going. I like my chicken well cooked. As does everyone, I imagine. I like the chili. And while that's doing its thing, just lightly spread some of the caramelized onion on there. And I put it on that part particularly because that's the piece I'm going to start folding with. And I try and put a lot of topping on there. Yeah, it just won't fold properly. You'll get the picture. Okay, so I've chopped it up pretty fine. It's almost done. If you wanted to make it easy on yourself, you chop that up at home and just put it in a bag. So it's all cooked. I'm just going to transfer it into this little bowl. And then we start building. The wrap, I need to do this by quarters, actually. So when I say by quarters, I mean I'm going to fill that quarter with some stuff. In this case, cheese. And probably a bit of these other ingredients here. So I'll put a bit of onion, capsicum, and maybe a bit of tomato. I'll put a bit of chicken on the other quarter. Hope you can see that. On the last quarter, I'm going to put some corn and some more cheese. Bloody flies. They always come out when you're cooking. I'll also put a little bit more smoked paprika on that, just so it's got a nice smoky quesadilla flavour. So what I'm going to do here is now fold in quarters. I'll just move that and make sure you can see it. So I'm going to do this in the quarters. So the first quarter had sticky sauce on it, which is really, because you fold that over, you don't want it to flop everywhere. Then you do the next one. And because you've got all that contained now, you can just fold and fold and fold again. And all that can just go in the pan and toast nicely. Nice and lightly. We don't want it to be too burnt, so we'll just do it softly, softly. So when that's done, hopefully that's going to melt all our cheese. And then we'll have a quesadilla. Got enough for two. Pretty straightforward. It's an easy meal, full of yummy stuff. In my case, a lot of leftovers. One pan, relatively easy, clean, and all sorts of good things. A bit more oil. You could spread a bit of butter on the outside of it if you really wanted to, but I don't think that's necessary. If you had a big enough pan, just flip it in half, fill half, flip it over, and then you put the full side down, flip the empty top over it, let it, with a bit of cheese to stick it all together, and then just halfway through flip that back. Right, doesn't need to be super cooked, just needs to be brown and held together because the chicken's already cooked. That stuff just needs to be warmed through and the cheese melted. So boom, then we have one quesadilla. Plus a few little bits that got away. Alrighty, okay, so it's not a Corona, but it'll do. Ondale, ondale, ipa, ipa. Here we go. Oh wow. Oh, that's good. What a beautiful flavour. I'll be making another one. It's delicious. Anyway, that's a hit. Quesadilla. One pan. Mostly leftovers. Well, dinner's done. The weather actually turned out quite fine. Didn't have the rain expected, and it was quite a warm, sunny day as it turned out. Anyway, that's camping. You never know how things are going to turn out. Just got to be prepared for everything. Anyway, I've eaten dinner. I'm about to have a hot chocolate. Watch a bit of YouTube that I downloaded. Probably back camping. And then an early night, I think. Get ready in the morning. I'll do a quick pack up, just the usual yogurt and fruit for breakfast. And that makes it nice and easy and quick. And then by the time I get all this stuff done, I'll probably head off about 9 in the morning, 3-hour drive home by lunchtime. So it's a good little spot. I think I'd come back, but it hasn't got a river. I like a river. All right, well, the last cup is done. The car's packed up. It's quite a good trip in the end. It was really good weather. Lots of wildlife activity. And yeah, it's time to go home. I'm going to go out a different way. I'm not going back the way I came. I'll try and get the video if there's anything worth seeing along the way as far as the scenery is concerned. But anyway, it's been fun. I could have stayed another night really, but I got to get back for something now. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video if you're interested in watching it.
My tin cup's full tonight, stars above and the fire's bright. I've hit the road and here I am, making camp where the gum trees stand. Sitting still in this quiet place, then I'll be gone without a trace.